Hi guys. I wanted to do a quick video to talk about this last week of November. Like, I can't believe it's the last week of November, first of all. I cannot, of 2024. Like, December 1st is this Sunday coming up. Like, I know that. And the other thing is, didn't Thanksgiving used to be in the third week of November? Why is it now in the fourth? Like, is this a thing now? When I grew up, I remember it being in the third week of November. And the reason why I remember that is my mother's birthday is November 22nd, and Thanksgiving falls on November 22nd a lot when it was in the third week of November. And now we're in the fourth week of November, and I don't think that that's possible anymore for Thanksgiving. Like, she was literally born on Thanksgiving when the year that she was born, November 22nd, was on Thanksgiving. So I don't know when it changed. Like, I don't know when did it change during the pandemic and like nobody noticed? Did like we all just start? I don't know. I don't know if anybody has an answer to that, please. Like, sorry, this is shaky. We're trying a new look, and my computer's actually on the desk that I'm using instead of on a separate desk. Usually it's on like a separate thing, so it doesn't shake when I am all like, demonstrative with myself. I'm just so dramatic all the time. So I apologize for the shaking of the table and the camera. So yeah, so we're in the last week of November. I had a really rough week last week because I had a whole bunch of tests done. A lot of them are coming back positive, which is wonderful news, which means I don't have other cancers. They were worried about cancer spreading to other parts of my body. Those scans have been done and we've been cleared, all good for that. I do have a follow-up in 6 months. So we're still crossing our fingers that it's good, because I feel like if it was a bad thing, they would have like rushed on it and like not made me wait another 6 months. So yeah, and there's one big test that we won't know about until Wednesday this week. So I probably will do another video like this weekend after the holiday, after we celebrate our giving of thanks and celebrate National American Heritage, American Indian Heritage Month, which is, or Native American Heritage Month. I'm like, how do you say it correctly? We've been called so many different things, so I don't even know anymore. But yeah, so after all of that celebrating, and if everybody's doing all of that celebrating, I hope you enjoy yourself and have a wonderful family time doing that. And but after that, I will probably do a video and talk about the next steps and everything, because I don't even know. Like, I don't even know. I know that things are better, and that's positive. The biggest concern that I have is that I still feel real cruddy sometimes. Like, especially like yesterday, it was really bad, but um, I still am really tired a lot. Like, I sleep a lot, you guys. I really sleep a lot, and that's one of the reasons why I don't work as much as I do anymore, because I'm sleeping a lot. I feel like I'm catching up on 40 years of no sleeping. I really do. Like, I think that my body, but it's great because when you're sleeping, your body's healing, and that's a good thing. But I sleep a lot, and I just, when I'm not sleeping, I'm actually focusing on doing really healthy things, and stressing out about the planets and all of that stuff is just not on my list of doing right now, like every day. Um, but I did look at the planets today, and I did look at the planets for the week coming up. This last freaking week of November, it's insane. I don't know. We do have Mercury beginning retrograde today, and that'll happen. Mercury will begin retrograde like 9:45 Eastern time. I think it's like 9:42 Eastern time or something like that. But anyways, Mercury begins retrograde at 22 degrees Sagittarius. It's 22 degrees and 40-second Sagittarius. Mercury began direct. I don't know if you guys remember, but at the end of last year, we had a Mercury retrograde in December, and Mercury stationed direct in Sagittarius on January 1st at 22 degrees. It started this year. And so now Mercury will be stationing retrograde in Sagittarius, and then will be direct on December 15th at 6 degrees Sagittarius. So 3 weeks of Mercury retrograde. Mercury retrograde in Sagittarius can kind of make you feel a little bit crazy. And I think that we talked a little bit about this at the end of last year. Like, I told everybody, like, make sure you get all of your shopping done before, December, before the middle of December, like before, it was before the first week of December. Make sure you get all of your shopping done, because Mercury in Sagittarius kind of, like, Mercury in Sagittarius alone is very idealistic, very, like it's not a very grounded placement. It's just not. Mercury in Sagittarius just is not a grounded placement. People that I know, some of the greatest people that I know, have Mercury in Sagittarius, and they're just brilliant. They're really brilliant, but most people really don't understand them or get them themselves. They're very esoteric and kind of like in another world sometimes. But brilliant, brilliant individuals. However, it like, I call it a mind fuck. Like, that's the only way that I can describe Sagittarius Mercury energy sometimes. Because, it's like it's like a conversation that goes in circles, right? It's a constant conversation that goes in circles, and you feel like you're going nowhere, going nowhere, and going nowhere. And sometimes that's the way that it can feel. And that could possibly be the feeling that we get with this Sagittarius Mercury retrograde. We will have also this week, we'll have the Sun trine Mars tomorrow, and then Wednesday into Thanksgiving on Thursday, we'll have Venus square Chiron. Chiron's retrograde right now. So, and then on December 1st, which is Sunday, we have the Sagittarius New Moon. And that's really what I want to talk about, is the Sagittarius. I wanted to talk about Mercury in Sagittarius, but I really want to talk about the Sagittarius New Moon. I do want to say this week feels a little bit like that Sun trine Mars in Leo right now is going to give us a lot of energy, probably, that we really haven't been feeling a lot of energy lately. Like, I don't know about you guys, but I mean, even Henry's even like, man, just exhausted. Like, everything just feels so exhausting right now. Just the energy that's been happening. And that Venus square Chiron can easily make Thanksgiving and being around family a little bit difficult. So make sure that you are allowing space for yourself to process. Like if you get your ego involved during conversations, like, there's gonna, especially because this was such a heated election, and like, seriously, that's what everybody's still talking about. And just especially because things are so heated as we're going into 2025, and not everybody's really happy with what's going on in the United States as we go into 2025. So, I just have a feeling that, like, the family get-togethers might be a little bit more difficult than they normally are. Anyways, the big thing that I wanted to talk with you guys about, and I want to show you the chart, is for the Sagittarius New Moon. Here we go. So the Sagittarius New Moon, December 1st on Sunday, it'll be at 1:20 a.m. So it's just barely December 1st. It's really like Saturday night. A lot of us are still awake at 1 a.m. So it's, really like, out hanging out on a Saturday night. But December 1st, 1:20 a.m. We're at 9 degrees, 32 seconds. Sagittarius, we do have Mercury retrograde here with in Sagittarius. And we have we were showing, just this last week, it was Venus square Chiron. So Venus in Capricorn square the Aries Chiron. And for this new moon, which will actually be on December 2nd that this happens, Venus is trying Uranus as well. And so this new moon, I feel like, is actually going to have a lot of surprise opportunities showing up. I looked up the Sabian symbol. I don't know if you guys, those of you that have been watching me for a while, know that I read up on the Sabian symbols a little bit last year, and I really want to get into them a little bit more. The Sabian symbols are, I forgot the time frame. I think it was the early 1900s. It was the late 1800s or early 1900s, and there was an astrologer, and it was a blind woman who came together, and they, for each degree of the zodiac, came up. She envisioned, it was like these psychic and like visions that she had for each degree of the zodiac, for each degree of Sagittarius, each degree of Capricorn, each degree of Aquarius, and so on and so forth. And so we call them the Sabian symbols. And that's just a brief summary of it, but we call them the Sabian symbols. And I wanted to read you guys the Sabian symbol for the Sagittarius new moon. I found it extremely, it opened up my eyes a lot. I think Henry and I both, we kind of like read this and it was like, oh, that makes sense. I had done a little reading for us just before I started looking at the astrology for the Sagittarius new moon, and it basically, the astrology reading that I had done for Henry and I was basically the same thing that was said in for the Sabian symbol. So when we have the Sabian symbols, if it's not at the exact 9 degree, if it has like here we have the 32 seconds, we jump to the next degree. So we're going to look at Sagittarius 10. And the symbol is a golden-haired goddess of opportunity. The key word is reward. The theme is looking beyond surface appearances. So this symbol speaks to the rewards guaranteed to the individual who is independent, self-reliant, and willing to work hard for what he wants. The image of a golden-haired goddess of opportunity alludes to the individual who follows his own dreams, creates his own fortune, and refuses to prejudge a situation or accept anything at face value. The emphasis in this symbol is on keeping an open and unconditioned mind. The individual who believes that bread can be made only from wheat might easily starve in a field of rye. Implicit in this symbol is the principle that every organism possesses the secret of its own survival, and that self-knowledge is the ultimate key to success. Positive. At its highest, this symbol represents self-confidence and an incredible sense of timing, or a knack for being in the right place at the right time. Negative. Opportunism or wild goose chasing, which is something Henry and I found ourselves doing quite a bit lately. And we realized today that that was the thing that was blocking us, is that we keep on trying to chase these particular answers or these, particular situations, and it just wasn't working. So for that day, the accent is being in the right place at the right time to catch the breath ring. Luck plays an important role today. So be sure that you're keeping your eyes peeled for anything that may benefit you in your life. And even if it's in like the smallest detail of existence, the opportunity, your greatest advantage lies in putting forth the effort to reap the benefits of the opportunities you are given. Be willing to continue in a course you know is right for you, even if you have to go it alone. And the risk is guard against expecting others to carry you or to cater to your whims. Don't lose your enthusiasm or abandon your goals just because you aren't continually receiving a pat on the back. So And I do think with the astrology and with the Sabian symbol, it it's very much the same. Like it feels very much the same feeling of, being your own independent person, and not and recognizing that your own self-awareness, your own self-knowledge, that's the key to your growth. Sagittarius is all about expansion. It's ruled by Jupiter. All about expansion, all about knowledge, all about evolution, and going in new directions. And one of the mantras that Henry and I have quite often said to each other is that things have to look different. They can't look the same as they did before. And that's another really big Sagittarius theme, having that authenticity and having the bravery to be brave enough to jump into that authenticity without knowing what it's going to bring or what it's going to look like or how it's going to appear, but knowing that it has to look different. If it doesn't look different, if it's the same, then what changed, right? And that's what I kept saying about us moving to New York to get healthcare for me, that it has to look different. It can't look the same as it did anywhere else that we were. This time it has to look different. And if we keep trying to chase the same ways of doing things, it's not going to work for us. So the Sagittarius New Moon has a lot of new, bright and shiny opportunities with, the Capricorn Venus and the Uranus, the Taurus Uranus. Next week, this could really pop off because this will be happening exact on Monday, the following day, and maybe even later on that Sunday, that the first here. Let me look at my thing really quick. I could be wrong. Oh no, Venus trine Uranus is happening on the 2nd. So, but still, we're still feeling it. I'm still, like the closer that Venus gets to that trine, it's gonna be stronger and we're gonna feel it. So, and there are a lot of opportunities that are showing up. The Mercury trine Chiron, especially because it's retrograde, you could find yourself kind of falling back into past things of staying and doing past things, and being having to like go through that cycle again, and having to like write yourself all over again with that Mercury trine Chiron. But it's all a learning experience. It's all for us to really learn. So just wanted to pop on really quick and talk about that. I do have appointments available in December for my 6-month reading, for the 6-month reading, January through June 2025 tarot forecast. I have lots of appointments actually still in December. I'm only booking for the first 2 weeks in December. And I might come back and do some astrology readings in January. I think I'm going to work on astrology in December. So that too, if you are waiting on getting a reading with me and you'd rather do an astrology reading, or you want to get a tarot reading and an astrology reading, I'll probably announce that sometime in December when I feel like I'm ready to actually talk about the astrology again. So we'll see how that goes. But yeah, so this week is, as we're leading up to that new moon, you may find yourself in certain circumstances or situations where you're like fighting against something, right? Or like you feel like you're kind of butting your head up against a wall and you're not getting anywhere with something. That means that that's the wrong direction for you to go in. And if that confuses you, then it's time for you to like sit back and get still with yourself so that life can right itself again, you know? A lot of times it's just about letting the energy do the thing for you and you being patient enough to let the energy do the thing for you. That's usually all it takes. So, all right, guys, have a wonderful Thanksgiving. And I hope you guys have a great week too. Bye.